Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So long time no post, and this is the Go for Faux yarn from Lion brand. I found this on their website, so I'm going to start my project by chaining 7 stitches. And I just want to warn you that this is a little hard to see in this yarn. You can kind of see the little bumps, but just bear with me. And if you're working on this, if you just follow along with what I'm telling you, you don't necessarily have to see every single stitch, because I'll probably poke my finger through anyway so that you can see it. But so I started by chaining 7 stitches, and we're going to skip the first and single crochet across starting in the second. So that's 6, and you're going to chain 1 and turn your work, and you're going to crochet back across again. I just want to note that this is for the extra small size. However, I will tell you measurements so that it's easier to customize to your own size, because I don't have the means of making every single size for everyone. But with measurements, you can create a more accurate garment for your shape and size. So you're going to do 1 more row. So now that you crocheted the 2 rows, you're going to cut your yarn, leaving a tail. Don't mind my little mini scissors. And you're going to repeat this again, but instead you're going to add 1 more row, so you'll have 3 rows of single crochet, and I'll meet you guys back here when I'm done with that. Okay, so here's the one with 3 rows. This one has 2. So with the one that I did 3 rows on, I'm going to now chain 10. So in total, so we have 6 on each side, which makes 12, plus the 10 in the middle. So we should have 22 stitches going across. So now that we have that done, we're just going to work our piece. We're just going to work our piece back and forth in single crochet, chaining 1 at the end, and then turning and repeating that for as long as you need it to reach from your shoulder seam. If you're like wearing a shirt, there's that seam on the shoulder. You're going to measure this part. You're going to like line this part up, maybe the first row, because you will be sewing this closed to the front. You're going to measure from there until your mid armpits. I can insert a diagram here and show you guys where like your mid armpit is, but you're going to crochet up until that point, and I will do the same. I will let you guys know also the measurement and how many rows I do for your reference as well. And once I'm done with that, I will meet you guys back here. Here's what I have so far for that middle piece. I did 6 rows. So now I'm going to start the increases so that we can form the armpit. To do that, we're going to work in a 2-row repeat 3 times. And I'm going to start by making a chain 1. Did I already chain 1? I can't ever tell if I chained 1 with this yarn. I did not chain 1. So now I have to start over. Okay, so I'm going to chain 1. I'm going to flip my work. Single crochet 1 in the first stitch. Single crochet 2 in the second stitch. This is the increase. And then you're going to single crochet all the way across until you get to the second to last stitch. You can mark it, or you can just count and keep track. So I'm going to do that now. So I'm at my second to last stitch, so I will single crochet 2 in this stitch. Single crochet 1 in the last. And then I will chain 1 and flip my work. And I will just do regular single crocheting all the way across, chain 1, and flip my work. So those are the 2 rows that you'll be doing, and you're going to repeat that 3 times. So I just started my first one. I'll do 2 more after that, and when I'm done with all 6 of those rows, I will show you guys. So I did the 3 repeats, and this is kind of what it looks like now. You can see that it like swoops out, and we're going to do 1 more row, and it's just 1 more row of increases like we've been doing the whole time. And then I will chain 1 and just kind of like make a little loop, because we're going to be cutting this yarn so that we can start on the 2 front panels that are going to go on here. To start one of the 2 front panels, you're going to make 2 of these. You're going to start by chaining 7, then you're going to crochet across 6 stitches. So exactly like how we started the back piece. So that was 6. I will chain 1 and turn my work. So I'm going to single crochet across, chain 1 and turn my work, single crochet across again, chain 1, turn my work, until I have a total of 5 rows. And I already have 1, so I'm just going to do 4 more, and once I'm done with that, I will be right back. Okay, so now we're going to do a little bit of math. I did my 5 rows of single crochet across, and we're going to figure out how many rows you need to do to increase the front, depending on the front, back, however many you did, if you did it different from me. So here I have 5 rows, right? And this is 3 rows that I did. Yeah, so that's 3 rows, including this first one right here. And so this section I did 6 rows before I started the increases down here. That's what I'm trying to get to in this whole math equation thing that I'm doing. So I have these 3 rows, and then I have 6 more down here, so that's 9. And then I already did 5 of those rows, because this is 5. So 9 minus 5 is 4, so I have to do 4 rows of no increases on the side where the armpit is going, and then I will increase every single row on the front side. And it doesn't matter which side you start with, because you can always flip it. Like, say you start the increases over here and you go straight down over here, you can always flip it. It's fine. We're going to increase how we did for down here, where you would single crochet the first stitch and then single crochet 2 in the next. So I'm going to start that and show you guys. So like I said, we're going to do 4 rows to reach the part where we increase for the armpit. So I'll chain 1, and I'm going to start the increases. So I will single crochet 1 in the first stitch, single crochet 2 in the second stitch, and then because I want this side to be flat going straight down, I'm just going to single crochet to the end. Okay, so I will chain 1, turn my work, and then single crochet across until I have 2 stitches left. Just have to like feel for them. So I'm at my second to last stitch, so I will do 2 in here, and then 1 single crochet for the last stitch, chain 1, turn my work, and then I will repeat those 2 rows 1 more time. So increase on the second stitch here, single crochet across, chain 1, single crochet across until you get to the last 2 stitches, single crochet twice, single crochet 1, and I will meet you guys back here when I'm done. Okay, so now that I did that part, as you can see, it's starting to come out. This is going to be the front neckline, and we want this to go past the center front line, because when you put buttons on any garment, they usually go right on the center front line. I don't know if you can see that, but half of the button would literally be hanging off. So we want it to go past the center front line. So what I'm going to do is I will continue increasing on the front every single row, and then on the side I'm going to repeat what I did over here. I'm going to increase every other row. So on this row I'm going to increase on both ends. The next row I will only increase on the front, etc. But I will show you guys the pattern for that. So it's a 2-row repeat pattern. We're going to do 4 rows, but we're going to repeat the pattern twice, and then we'll do like 1 more increase at the end like we did for the back. So we will chain 1, turn our work, single crochet 1 into the first stitch, single crochet 2 into the second stitch, and then single crochet across until you have 2 stitches left. And I'm at my second to last stitch. I will single crochet 2, single crochet 1 into the next stitch, and then I will chain 1 and turn. So because I single crocheted, since I single crocheted 2 over here in the last row, I'm not going to increase again. I'm just going to single crochet across until I get to the second to last stitch. So this is my second to last stitch. I will single crochet 2 in here since this is the front, and then 1 single crochet in the last stitch, and then I will chain 1, turn my work, and then I will repeat those 2 rows that I just did one more time. This is what the piece is looking like right now. This is the front neckline and center front and everything, and then this is the armpit. So I'm just going to do one more row of increasing on the front and the back, and then you're going to cut your yarn and repeat this whole process for the next one. Okay, so I just finished my second front panel, and I did not cut the yarn on this because I'm going to flip it over, and I'm going to single crochet all the way across. And I might as well, I'm just going to do one more increase here. So I just single crocheted all the way across. I went into the last stitch, and now I'm going to chain 1, and I'm going to take my back piece, put it upside down, and this is one of the shoulders, the back neck. So this is the underarm, armpit, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to chain 2. I'm going to go into this very first stitch right here, and I'm just going to connect, and I will now single crochet all the way across the back piece. So I single crocheted all the way across the back piece, and I had said earlier to leave this little loop open, but I think I'm actually going to close it. So I'm just going to finish off crocheting this row. So now I'm going to chain 2, and then I'm going to take the other front piece. So I'm going to just insert my hook into the first stitch right here. I'm just going to single crochet across. Also, I almost forgot, since we increased on the first side, I'm just going to increase on the second to last stitch. I will just chain 1, and now we're going to turn my work, and I'm just going to work back and forth across the front and back pieces that are all connected now, until my piece is the length that I want it to be. I will let you guys know how many rows I did. I'm going to finish crocheting the length of my jacket, and I'll be back when I'm done. I finished crocheting all the way down. I did 13 rows. So now I'm going to show you how to just close up the shoulder seams. I just made a slip knot and then put my hook in the first 2 stitches here. So now I'm going to show you guys how to make the first portion of the collar, or the lapel collar. And you're going to start by chaining 7, and then I'm going to skip the first stitch, start in the second with a single crochet, and just single crochet across the 6 stitches. At the end, I will chain 1, turn my work, and then single crochet across 6 again. Chain 1 and turn. So we're going to start the decreases. I'm going to decrease the first stitch, so I'm going to go into that twice, pull through. So I have 1 stitch, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So I decrease the first stitch and then single crochet it across. And then I'll chain 1, turn, and single crochet across. Chain 1, turn, and then I will decrease again, single crochet across, chain 1, turn my work, single crochet across, and repeat that process until you have 1 stitch left. Keeping the working yarn attached to your finished collar piece, you're going to find the front of the garment. So this is one of the armholes right here. I'm just going to turn it on its side so it can fit in the frame. So this is the shoulder seam right here. This is the point where it levels out for the front of the jacket. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to line it up. I'm going to keep this tail on the side that I'm going to crochet the garment to. So I'm going to put this kind of inside, like that. And this is the very tip of the start where it goes straight. I'm just going to insert my hook. I'm just going to pull through there. And I'm just going to crochet across. So it's the wrong side of the jacket to the right side of the collar piece. But there isn't really a right side because both sides look the same. So I'm just going to move my thing up a little bit more. Look at that. It's so cute. I mean, it's a little messed up because it's not laid out perfectly right now, but oh my god, I can't believe I made a collar in crochet. I am so excited for this. So cute. Okay, now I'm going to show you how to make the upper collar that goes around. I will start that and show you guys how to make it. So basically what I'm going to do for the additional collar, I chained 7 and I'm going to skip the first stitch, single crochet in the second, and across as well. That's 6, chain 1, and then you will turn your work and single crochet again. And you're going to repeat that as many times as you need for this to go all the way around and fit back here again. So I'm going to do that. I'll let you guys know how many I do, and then I'll show you how to attach it. So I did a total of 37 rows, as you can see, and I'm going to line up the edge where I was crocheting, this long edge, with the inside of my jacket. So now I'm going to show you how to start the sleeve, and we're going to start by chaining 16. Okay, so I have my 16, and now because this yarn is a little tricky, it's going to be a little more difficult, but we want to make sure that the chain is not twisted at all because we're going to join it in a circle. So I think mine is pretty good. I'm going to flip it over, bring that tail over. I'm just going to insert my hook right into this first stitch. Definitely use a stitch marker. I can't find mine right now because I moved, so I'm not going to use one, but definitely I sometimes will just use this, but if you're a beginner to crocheting, definitely use stitch markers so you get the hang of it and know when and where your next row starts. So join that together, and now we're going to single crochet all the way across, and I'm going to single crochet in that first stitch as well. So the sequence for this is going to be really easy. It's going to be 6 rows of single crochet and then 1 row of increasing twice, one at the beginning and 1 halfway around. Okay, so I'm back at the beginning and I'm just going to single crochet into the first stitch that I made earlier. Just going to pull that tight a little bit. Now I'm going to single crochet around 5 more times, so I will have a total of 6 rows. So I've done my 6 rows here, so on my 7th I'm going to do the increases. So I will do 2 single crochet in my first stitch of the round, and then I'm going to hold it kind of open like this and just try to find the midpoint of where halfway across would be. So that would be right here for me. So I'll just pull that stitch up a little bit, and then I will single crochet to that stitch. Okay, so I made it to the middle stitch, and now I will single crochet twice in here. And now we're going to single crochet to the beginning. And you're going to repeat this process of single crocheting 6 rows and then increasing on the 7th for a total of 3 times for this size, with an additional 3 rows of single crochet after the 3rd round of these 7 stitches. So that, once you're done, will look like this, and you will use 1 whole skein for this size. And once I'm done with my other one, I will show you guys how to add the shoulder portion. So this measures from where I want it to hit on my wrist, so I'm trying to make it match up to here. So when I wear it, these 2 pieces line up here together. So that's the perfect length, and then I will do this other part that connects it to the shoulder piece. Now I'm going to show you guys how to do the shoulder portion of this. It's a little tricky. I figured it out on a previous garment that I made, but I will show you how to do it. First, you are going to single crochet the first 2 together, and then you're going to single crochet all the way around until you have 3 stitches remaining. So I'm just going to mark the 3rd one off. 2 more. Okay, so what we're going to do now, since this is the one that we marked, we have 3 left. We're going to single crochet the next 2 stitches together. Then we're going to chain 1. We're going to leave that last one just there, leave it alone. Chain 1, and then turn your work. And you're going to be working this back and forth, not in a circle anymore. This next row, I am just going to single crochet all the way around. So I'm back to the beginning. I chained 1 after I did that row, and I have 20 stitches. I started with 23, but I decreased by 3 because you always skip that middle one and you decrease on the ends. So I figured out how to do this portion by basically taking the like armpit area of my jacket and just like laying this against it and counting how many rows it took to cover that space. And then I wrote it out, on here, and I had like two different ones that I was working with. Didn't really work out the first time when I decreased every single row. But then the second time I did it, I did 2 rows of 20, 1 row of 18, 2 rows of 16, 1 row of 14. That's how like the pattern's going to go. So you just have to play around with it based on how many rows you need to cover that space. So for the next row, I have 1 row of decreasing, 1 row of 18 stitches. So I'm going to decrease the first stitch, single crochet all the way around, and then decrease the last 2 stitches. Okay, so I just finished the shoulder portion of the sleeve. That's what it looks like. So I'm going to keep my yarn intact, and what I'm going to do, how you typically set a sleeve is you do right sides together. So this is the right side of the sleeve. I'm going to take the jacket. The right side is currently facing out, so I'm going to put it inside out. So this is the jacket inside out right now. And I'm going to take my sleeve and I'm going to make sure that it's like this, like folded in half like this, right? This is the shoulder seam. This is the side seam. Just trying to line everything up so that it works properly, fits properly, whatever. Okay, so both sides are lined up and everything. I'm going to take the sleeve, and since this is the shoulder, I'm going to take the shoulder portion and make sure that's on this side. The underarm is down here. I'm just going to move it up, and then I'm going to put it inside of the garment. So right sides are together, right? And you can definitely pin this with removable stitch markers, just like where it needs to set. I'm not going to because there's not enough room in the frame to show you guys everything, so it's gonna get a little tricky. So I'm going to grab the shoulder area right now. So what I'm going to do, since this is not like the center, alright, so these last 2 stitches are kind of like on either side. These last 2 stitches will go on either side of the seam that we did up here, since they aren't like the perfect center. So I'm just going to grab a stitch on either side. I'm going to put my needle through, or my hook through, just kind of like put this on top, pull it a little bit, and I'm just going to pull through like everything, just so it stays on there, and then I can start single crocheting. So the next stitch, I'm going to go over this middle stitch just like a tiny bit into the next one, and then I will go into that other stitch because I had 2 stitches left, and I will single crochet that, and I'm going to flip this over, make sure it's still kind of lined up a little bit, right? And then I will just single crochet all the way around. I'll show a little bit on camera so you guys can see how I'm doing it, but that's basically how you finish off the sleeve. So yeah, this is basically what I'm going to do all the way around, and once I'm done, I will come back and show you guys what it looks like. Alright, I officially have one fully set in sleeve. How exciting! Okay, so I'm going to do the other sleeve, set it and everything, and I will come back and show you guys what it looks like.